Welcome to the Talk podcast with ideas strategist Linda Reed-Enever. Talk is where we chat about ideas and inspiration you can use to market your business. Get ready for practical tips you can implement today with your host, Linda Reed-Enever.
Hi everyone, Linda Reed-Enever, and welcome back to the Talk podcast. Today we're exploring how to create value in your content. We know that content is king, and if you want to generate more leads and more engagement, we need to make sure that we have value in our content. But what does that mean? Marketers are out there all the time saying, create valuable content. But what does that really mean? It means that you need to start or provide, if you're already doing it, your audience with information that they can use, they can appreciate, and they value. And if we provide our audience information they can use, they can appreciate, and they will value, they then become more likely to click through. They become more likely to take that next step or engage with our call to action. So here's a few ways today in our podcast of how you can boost your engagement and add value with your content. The first thing that I say to all people when we're looking at creating a content plan is think about what your audience wants and needs. What are the pain points? What are the things that they're going to be typing into Google? Answer the Public, you've heard me mention it on the podcast time and time again, is a great tool to be able to find what your audience is typing into search, the problems they have and the things that they need. But you've also got the opportunity, if you're already using social platforms, to A, create some engagement, but B, also make sure that you're targeting the right people by making sure that you ask your people, what would you like to see me create? What information, what resources, what tips would you like me to create? Research your audience. If you're brand new to this, research who the people are that you're talking to. Have a look at the insights if you've got an existing audience in place. See who they are, what demographics, what countries are they coming from, maybe what life they're in. And if you want to go that step further, you could even run a survey and poll them about who they are, what do they read, what publications do they read. And then we need to write for that audience. We need to write for the people that we want to work with. Because if you're trying to create content for everyone, you're not going to engage anyone because no one's going to be able to connect with the message that you're putting out there. So make sure that you are writing for that specific audience. And then most importantly, before we go into what we're actually going to put together in this content, we want to stick to a format and a style. So how are you going to talk to your people on social media? Is it relaxed? Is it formal? What format are we going to use? And making sure that you're setting up templates when you're creating video or you're creating social posts that people are going to go, oh, that's such and such a brand and I know who they are. So let's go delve into now some of the ways that you can create engagement and add value to your content with your people. Now, the first one I talk about is offering insights, and I'm not talking about your statistical insights right now. Help your audience learn something new. Give them something that will solve their problem. Maybe share insights you've gained about your industry or your business or how they can use your product or how your product will solve their needs, or even from a point of view about the insights about what got you to this point within your journey of creating your product or service that you offer and the things that you've learned along the way. And that jumps into the next one, which is about sharing stories. Humanize your brands. Humans connect with humans. We want the know, like, and trust factor as we talk about in marketing. So by humanizing our brand, by sharing real stories from our customers, from our employees, from your own journey, allows that emotional connection that most people are seeking for in social media that talks about value to happen and occur. So you want to be sharing stories along the way. That could be from things about what you did on the weekend to, the latest product is or how your week's been going. You could do, maybe a short little Q&A session with your staff. You talk about your favorite coffees, for example, but it's about humanizing the brand by sharing stories. And then I spoke before about writing for a specific audience, but write for your readers, not yourself, okay? Write in a way that's clear and concise. Don't assume that they understand your industry jargon. Explain your industry jargon. Don't assume they know the basics. Make sure that you are covering the basics when you're writing your piece for your readers. We are at a completely different stage to our audience. Even if we were our audience at one stage in time, we are in a completely different stage to where they are now within our journey. The way that we would receive information is not the way that people that we're going to want to work with will need to receive information. So we either need to take a step back in time and remember what that was like, or we need to make sure that we are connected and we're in that zone and we're writing for the readers and we're giving them what they want. And one of the good ways of being able to check if we're giving them what they want is to check our insights. So check what are they engaging on? What are they liking? Facebook have got it, Instagram have got it, TikTok have got it, YouTube have got it. What are they engaging with? What are they watching for the most period? And start to write content and create content for those areas, whether it's a video script or whatever you're doing. The other component is use images to break up your text. I cannot stress this enough. We've got different learners out there, and images and videos will break up your text. It'll also increase engagement, but it also creates a visual connection to the information that you're sharing. So we want to make sure that we are using that visual connection as well. And the algorithm, as I said, loves videos. So the more video that you can possibly put out there at the moment, whether it's short form or long form, the algorithms are loving it. They're looking at it for playtime. They're, suggesting it within feeds. And videos is a great way for you to be able to share those stories, write those insights, teach those how-to things, and be able to make sure that you're providing value that will give your people a win along the way. Make sure that when you get to the end of your video, you include things like a call to action. So, whether it's a like or a follow, or whether it's tell me about your own journey, making sure that you're including a call to action so that they will engage with you along the way. So 2 of the questions that I get asked is, what's a good way to measure the value of my content? Now, there is no one size fits all to this question, but measuring engagement and click-through rates is one of the first things. So we can do that through our insights and through our Google Search Console, and we can gauge whether the efforts are working. The other thing is to have a look at whether people are commenting, whether people are engaging, or they're mentioning that video that you did, because I quite often have people where I think maybe we haven't got the best engagement, but they mention, oh, I saw that video that you did, and it could be years ago, for example, and they delve into the piece and why it connected them and led them my way. And that's a really, really cool thing. How do you research your audience? Okay, surveys are a great way to be able to do that. Using tools like search engine results, using your social media analytics to get a snapshot of who's visiting your website, what your audience looks like, and how you can reach them is going to be a really good way for you to be able to connect with your audience as well. But just start to poll them, start to talk to the people that you're working with and have a bit of a chat to them from there. But if you need to do a little bit of competitor research, vidIQ is a great tool for you to be able to do that. Pop a competitor's YouTube channel or TikTok channel in and see what they're talking about and who's their audience and who are they engaging with and what keywords are they using so that you can include that value in your own content as well. The tools are there. We might as well use them to see what our people would be already engaging with and then put our own spin on it. And then the final thing that I get is, what should I do if my content isn't performing as well as I would like? And hey, we've all been there. We've created amazing content. We think it's going to work and it doesn't. There are a number of things you can do to boost the performance. We can adjust the format. We can adjust the timing that it's being delivered. We can make sure that we've got it in front of the right audience. We can try different strategies such as using images, infographics, or videos along with it. But we can also maybe just actually look at the numbers. And maybe rather than looking at viral content or anything like that, look at, is it actually attracting customers to our business? Are they mentioning the content that we're putting out there? Are they engaging? Are we getting bookings when we put this content out there? Are we getting sales when we put that content out there? Because sometimes the metric that we're actually using to see if our content performing is a vanity metric, and it's not a business related metric. So we want to make sure that we are looking at the value that goes through from there. And, the other thing is just have a look. Are people sharing it? Are they engaging with it? Now, the one thing I will say to you, in the world of social media, organic reach is great. You can get it, but organic reach isn't going to be 100% of your audience. It's most probably going to be less than 50% of your audience. But be grateful that you reach it and keep sharing that message again and again. By creating value through our content, we are able to create engagement. And then by creating engagement, we are then able to see click-throughs and purchases and all of those sorts of things. So we want to be able to make sure that we are writing for our audience, we're sharing stories, we're offering insights, we're using that mix of images and videos, and we are sharing content that will deliver our people a win by sticking to our brand formats and styles along the way. Until next time, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Talk, and I look forward to sharing more tips with you again soon.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Talk with Linda Reed-Enever. Make sure you subscribe via your favourite podcast app so you don't miss the next great episode. You can find more ideas and inspiration at lindareedenever.com.au.